So today we're going to be doing some precipitation reactions, and basically a precipitation reaction is when two soluble products come together, or two soluble reactants come together to make an insoluble product and a soluble product, which is the byproduct there. And so we're going to be precipitating all kinds of stuff today. We've got iron chloride, nickel chloride, sodium chloride, sodium phosphate, potassium chromate, silver nitrate, potassium iodide, sodium carbonate, lead nitrate, copper sulfate, and sodium hydroxide. So you can see that there's a bunch of different combinations that those can go in. And most of those will precipitate. So we're going to get quite a few precipitates here. So this one here, we've got sodium hydroxide, and we're going to add copper sulfate to that. Oh, you can see a beautiful light blue precipitate there. Oh, that's nice. And then this one we're going to add iron hydroxide, this should make iron hydroxide. This is iron 3 chloride. Wow. You can see your iron 3 hydroxide there. Nice suspension of particles. And now this one is nickel. Nickel chloride being added to sodium hydroxide. Wow. To make like a, that's green actually, that's a light green color. That's nickel hydroxide. Wow, that's a great color. It's almost the same as the nickel chloride actually. Here's the precipitate there, and you can see it's kind of floating. So those are transition metal hydroxides, and now we're going to do carbonates. Alright, so now we're doing transition metal carbonates. So we've got copper sulfate and sodium carbonate. You can see, actually that's almost the same color as the copper hydroxide. A little darker in color.
The surface just like bulged a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit darker in color. And then we've got iron chloride, and adding that to our solution of sodium carbonate. It's actually, wow, look at that. You can see our nice precipitate there. So here's nickel chloride and sodium carbonate. Nice light blue-green color there. As you can see, these are similar to the hydroxides. So now we're doing phosphates, and these are actually pretty original. There's not many of those up on YouTube. This is copper phosphate. You can see it slowly being precipitated out. It's a more greenish color than the others. Iron phosphate, so this is iron chloride and sodium phosphate. Wow, yellowish color there. That's a great color. Nickel phosphate, so nickel chloride and sodium phosphate. Bluish color there. Bluish green. And then silver. This is silver nitrate and sodium phosphate. Nice yellow color on the silver phosphate there. That's great, actually. That's not what I expected to happen. Thought it was going to be whitish. Wow, that's great. And now let's see if lead does a similar thing. This is lead nitrate and sodium phosphate. Just a whitish blue precipitate there. So those are our phosphates. So now we're doing halides, which are iodides and chlorides, or at least that's what we're doing. And so this is sodium chloride and silver nitrate to that. You can see a nice milky white precipitate there. And then this is silver nitrate and potassium iodide, like silver iodide, which is a greenish color. Greenish yellow in color. Silver forms some weird compounds. And then this is lead nitrate and sodium chloride. Also a milky white precipitate, a little more bluish if you look closely. So those are halides. So now we're going to do some chromates. I actually have no idea how this is going to turn out. We've got our beautiful yellow color of sodium or potassium chromate there, and now we're going to add copper sulfate to the first test tube. Wow, copper chromate's like a reddish color. That's great. That's very unexpected for copper. Looks like something iron would do. And now we're doing iron chromate, so iron chloride in the potassium chromate. Almost the same color, although a little bit more orange. And now we're going to do nickel. Nickel chromate. Actually, I think... No, there's nickel chromate. There's no nickel chromate precipitate. Nickel chromate's probably been made, but it's probably soluble. So that one actually didn't work. And now we're going to do lead chromate. A yellowish color. The yellow is probably just from the chromate, but it is still a yellowish color. So that's lead chromate. So those are chromates. And now we're going to do two that are classic and a real original one. And we're going to do those in flasks. So this is our final lineup here. We've got copper hydroxide, iron hydroxide, nickel hydroxide, copper carbonate, iron carbonate, nickel carbonate. Next rack we've got silver chloride, silver iodide, and lead chloride. And then we've got copper chromate, iron chromate, and lead chromate. And then over here we've got copper phosphate, iron phosphate, nickel phosphate, silver phosphate, which is actually turned a blackish color, and lead phosphate, which is still milky white. So these are our two, this is for the grand finale. We've got lead nitrate into a flask. And now we're going to do silver nitrate in another flask. A little bit of a spill there. I'll have to clean that up. And then... Okay. And then we're going to, for this one, add some potassium iodide to the lead nitrate for the awesome precipitate. Yellow precipitate. Look at that. That's amazing. And then we're going to add our yellow potassium chromate to our silver nitrate for a blood red precipitate there. That's also amazing. So you can see here is lead 2 iodide and silver 1 chromate. You can see those are both amazing reactions there. Iodide and the chromate. So that's our precipitates video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and comment.